I love it. Hi everybody, my name is Jessica Holyfield and I'm a professional dance choreographer and dance educator based out of the southeast of the United States, and we are here taking a look at xikers Bittersweet Dance Practice as well as the demo. So I'm pumped for this. I hope you are too. We've already seen the performance version and really enjoyed seeing that, and I heard the fixed cam is freaking sick. So I cannot wait to dive in. Let's go. There you go. Cool. Yeah. Ooh. I love it. Because he just dangles his legs every time. Fun. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, catching that's hard. Yeah. Wow. Sheesh. Whew, that's so much energy. Oh, we love it. Okay, BB Trippin', ready for you. New think. Ready. I bet workshopping that was fun. So they changed who was in different sections. Cool. The dangle for me. Gosh, it's fun. Yeah. This choreo videograph, like, it videographs very well. But it's also so good as standalone too. That part's probably my favorite section. So good. Wow. Golly, there's, man, BB trippin' literally probably no holds barred on xikers. They're like, you're just gonna do it. And they said, okay. So much. It's so cool. Like, honestly, with xikers, when it comes to Gen 5 groups, I still feel this way. They're so freaking full out, but it works so well, and they have a really interesting path that a lot of people get compared to Block B on, but I wouldn't give them that. I feel like they feel very xikers, which is very impressive for being a Gen 5 group, because a lot of times you're going to get compared to Gen 2, Gen 3, and that is not the case here, and I feel very confident in saying that. Like, this is so freaking sick, my God. Okay. Performance version was sick. There's certain moments though that we just got to appreciate here. So the swing down and coming up, this forward roll, come on, and he's landing down and he has to make sure that he pushes his energy forward so he doesn't fall back on his butt. And it looked like he almost did, but he held it well. So I like the little speed change on that. We're here for it. And we go down with the throw. Come on now. D-D-D-D. So nice little syncopated arms traveling it up. I would say the usage of the back really helps make that look nice and strong. So that's cool. They go pa, pa. So I like this little interruptions using the pa to help create that punctuation. Go down to the end, then I like how they extend the arms, and then they go and they create this nice, I mean, we saw this, with Vidi Da Vici, like the world, so having this is something very familiar with, which is nothing crazy, but having the two down, it was a fun reveal going from the arms right there across to all towards and internalize with each other. It's really nice. So your first feature is really fun. He takes it over, boom, I love the accents throughout this whole thing. So fun. You see his arm traveling through in a little thread moment. So fun. And then he takes it, he retracts it, and then he instates both arms. He travels the energy up. Nice, taking the head and rotating over to the side, and I like having the wrist on that as well. He brings it over, and then we have a little pull. And then he trots away. Then we have the switch up, da-da-da-da, which is also really fun. Then we have a little body roll. He takes it, traces it down, which is also really fun. And the pulls are cool. So I don't know if they're like going full out in some moments. Part of me feels like they do, and part of me I don't feel that way. But it's totally fine. I love it. Da-da-da-da. So I like the little twinkle in is fun. And I love this here. They go slow, do-do-do-do. They all match how he is vocalizing or how he's running it. So that's really cool. And then they hit a nice little pulse on the tail end of that. They go high, low, high, low. So it's definitely like they're keeping this really nice subtlety in their bounce, but they have this really nice full extroverted rock to help create a sense of contrast. So cool. I will say this too, I have never, like in this one, no issue figuring out who my feature is. It is very clear, just based off stage presence, charisma, but also the choreographic structure. freaking sick. And I love that. It's just fun where you have your member, he's just lifting up his arm and everyone's just syncopating it with their arms, which we love. They hit it over. So it's very similar to what they ended up doing in the very beginning in the intro, which is cool. The little face, he drops down. I love that. And then I love he goes down, they catch him. So I like that he's not grabbed and brought down, he just free falls and they catch. Love that choice. I love the marches and they look to us. What? Da 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 da. I think maybe Trippin' was crisper on that, but I like the intention of it nonetheless. They go down, boom, and I like the rotation of the arms. He hits it. He's still very captivating, nothing crazy about it. And then he moves forward. He says, boom, let's go. And then right here, that was a fantastic way to set up for a fun lift reveal. That even then didn't feel like we were setting up for it whatsoever. That is well done on workshopping from BB Trippin'. I like the You Should Better Run. It's super subtle, and you're just pull. Oh my gosh, you're placing your weight from the ball of the foot down to the heel as you create this little speed change. And then I like the transition where you had two of them cross over, and then they bring it to the back. And that's fun. So you go front. First group goes, then they go to the back, and then they switch lines but sideways, and then they go to the back, and then you have them go backwards. God, that's so fun. It's little details like that where everybody technically does the same thing, but they just go about it in a different direction and their body's facing a different direction, which makes it very intriguing and entertaining. So he drops down, very nice, seamless, subtle walk. So this right here ties in what we saw with our very first feature where they all had the arms out and then they brought the arms up. So we already see a lot of overlapping fingerprints, but they're repackaged and restructured in our directions and textures. And I love how it's bled in the top. Then we have these grabs happening with the wrist, and they create a little opening. He goes down. He says, what you want? Very deceptive. They're telling a story, or they're establishing direction and function throughout the formations. God, it's so cool. They let it down and they bring the arms in, and then they throw, boom, they reinstate, new person. Then he hops through, so definitely feels like here's a mirror, I'm gonna break the fourth wall. Ooh, it's a bit unhinged, right? Which is fun. Na, 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 na. And so this, I think they had choreographed Hunter doing the whole front part, but I'm glad they have him switched out. They have the arms. And it goes dee-dee-dee-dee. Really fun, very militant in the crispness. The switch up right here with the pony, and then still keeping the head fixed pointed to the front, and then allowing the upper body to rotate is so cool. I love that with the extra punch on the elbow. When we bring it up, they love that speed change with creating the nice little running position. We go, ha. And then I like the swing, and it definitely feels, it's not a tone wop twist or anything like that, but they are shoving their weight in opposition, their upper body back, where they're catering their legs and their heels to the front as they're creating this pulse with the arms, bringing them up. It's so fun. Then it goes out in, and then you go into a little, it's just a heel. Those are heel digs there, but it definitely felt a little bit more rooftop with a legato, didn't it? So that's super cool. So it's nice that we have clarity there, because we only were given the upper body, so we only had to use some deductive reasoning or context clues to figure out what they were doing. So that was nice. I love the little pull, and then the bigging it up. Then we take it, bite into it, because why not? Charisma. And then he goes, ah, he had that choir, and it looks like he's, all to the sky. And then they bring him down. And then it does look like he has his right leg continue to bend and the left leg is straight. So it's a fun illusion. And then that's exactly what you see there. And then you have the back row. Yeah, that's literally, instead of a milli rock, they're just like, hey, where you at? Which I love. It's subtle. It's effective. The intention of that's cool. I'd say the pulls, of course, could be a little bit more equal, but that's literally whatever. It does not matter. And it's right here. Now we've turned into a ring, essentially. And also special shout out to these two, because them getting to their spot is very difficult if you think about it. So they pull them up. The pull. They can't stop. Pull. Then he has to turn, and then he has to step and be interlocked. So notice that where Hunter is, he has to be there. Like, he doesn't get to squabble his way. He gets one step. So he's got to lunge it and hope for the best that he's as close in as possible. It does look like he needs to step a further, like a smidgen more out, but that's just going to come from more fluency in that rotation that he did before in order to get that shot the first time. So that is a really job well done on his part on getting that, and you can tell he's eyeing the mirror to see if he clocked it. So that's also fun, and then he goes and he looks front. So I like that they grab and create a sense of combativeness, like they're on the rings and they're about to come at each other again. He says, hey, what you want? And the other one does a hook around. So fun. And he, boom, accents with the chest. Then he says, I'm not in this fight anymore. He walks forward, do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Nice little bleeds on that. They hit, da-da-da-da-da. And I like the elbow on that too. They drop down, 1, 2, do-do-do-do-do, which is nice. They hit with the shoulder and switch it up. So I like that. So shoulder, shoulder, do-do-do. And then they throw to accent, and then they go away. Features featuring. Honestly, everyone who gets a feature, it actually feels like an appropriate part. It doesn't feel like they're only there for 2 seconds. It's an effective, like, oh, this is so-and-so's section. Like, that's what I actually like about BB Trip and KQ, is I've noticed that with ATs and I've noticed that with psychers. It doesn't feel like one person's just kind of there existing and they get maybe 1 or 2 parts like VV with Luna, you know? So I'm really, really happy that we get to see that and celebrate that. So cool. He goes and pull. Now this part here, what's really cool about this is that if you wanted to make this practical for something, whenever I'm training my dancers to progress through a Thomas flare, there's many ways you can do progressions, but this is the path that we chose to progress through a Thomas flare, which is like a floor, it's a floor flare, right? Go be curious about it. And that's one of the progressions they tell you to work on, is getting your weight offset like that, and then from there you can practice picking up and using your core to lift, that kind of stuff. But I digress. I really like how it's utilized here because I've wanted to figure out a way to utilize this progression because it's so cool. Even though it's not the most difficult thing to do, it is hard to do, you know, a minute and a half in of a 3-minute routine. Like, it's aggressive, right? But I love it. And then that's a really fun way to introduce your next feature, da 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 da, to both sides. Then they go have a little party. And they go high, low. I love that. So we're continuing to have our feature there. They all travel to the inside. She says, da 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 da, here we go. They said pose, 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 wordplay. We love it. They go out and in. The accent around. They knee slide, but everybody does a kick and they do a knee, but they actually let the leg rotate around, so it feels very complimentary, the lower levels and the upper levels. Cool. He goes high, low, and da 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 da. Tap, tap, tap. When we reach, we take the leg, we rotate it around. Some of these pants I want. My gosh, those pants look so fun. And I like to go high and low, and then we move to a little huddle in the back. Now we think that it's not like to prep for something. Do you know what I mean? It just feels like a huddle. He gets up, no problem. And that's just cute. I love it. It's fun. You should better run. I like the extra breath on that. Bless the boy that he is sitting on to where they had to create that breath. Drop down. Then you have this melt, which we love, and everyone contributes to it. You have somebody else pop up, so it creates a really fun extended bleed to get into a new spot. And they reach, voila. And then from there, it switches. So just like you had this frame, it closes and then it opens up to a new person. They take it one person, boom, it's like a lever that gets pulled, new person pops up. And I love that he hits it, boom, has everybody pop back out. Imachi, da 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 dee. Now, for me, I do appreciate at times when you do get to do the same content with your same features. It doesn't bother me, but if you do it 3 times, then it kind of feels like we wasted an opportunity with one of our courses. But for a routine that's this dense, or it feels this full, part of me does like it because it allows them, psychers, to get this movement quality sequence, get it ingrained in their bodies. So it makes them feel, it's going to be easier for them on a stamina side because their body is familiar with this section more than other sections. That outro is going to suck every time they do it, but this course will probably feel more manageable because of the amount of times they have to do it. And their body gets familiar and learns how to cope and progress through it. So that's a nice thing to say about that. And sweet and slow to mid-key, dee, da 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 dee. Oh, that phone a tricky house. Oh, and then from here, I love this section. I'm so glad they put it in the performance version. This right here, over, notice his hand goes from more of like a full hand to a finger. And he goes tap, tap, boom, da, don't you realize? And they both do both hands like, come here. Ooh, I don't. It's concerning. Then I think it's it was a Millie Rock the first time, and then we end up tapping it. And then from there, full out. He goes, da-da-da-ba! And I like that everybody has this little reverb on the tail end of their hand. And he goes, do-do-do-do-do-do. So they goes reverb, and then he goes and he travels it, and they all react in their torso. So fun. He throws it. They go down, up. and they go up, down. Oh my gosh. So they switch it over, hop, and then they do a little hinge like they have a basketball, and they're kind of creating that space around the hinge. It's so fun. Levels, smart choice with your feature because he's doing the same thing to complement. They're staying up, he's down. So we could clearly see he's vibing out with this. He takes it, he drops it, they go and they pull. The fact that everybody's committing to character here, not just your main dancers, but even your vocalists, it really, really make this stand out in a fantastic way. Not just this, but which. Really cool. So they go da 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 da, and they pulse, boom, and then they go swing, swing. Come on now, and they go a little heel twist down. Did feel like we were about to do a lock in, but we didn't. It goes boom, boom, boom. So it goes heel, we twist it to reinstate the other foot, and then we take the arms up. Let's go. And it goes, hey, let's go. Then they push it out, and I like the half side. They go do-do-do-do to drop with a hinge over. Then the other group does it too, having your rapper have his little feature moment of charisma and angst. We love it. It goes boom, boom, boom. They go, and they're all now reset, facing each other. Feels very combative. And then it goes, rah! And then we walk into silence, but you still have to catch that. It's really hard. It's a lot harder to catch this than you think it is. Yeah, even there. Because it's boom. Like, you don't have the bass hit until after that sound goes away. So you have to just get familiar with it. I think one of my guys was a smidgen delayed, but that's life. Yeah, that's whatever. So they go, and I like the knees, and I like the movement progression forward. They take in the arms, allowing the torso to help make and maintain the energy in this hinge to the sides, and it goes da-da-da-da-da-da, and with the knees, and so instead of having them just go out, just like you previously saw, they double timed it. They created this nice little travel up with the knees and the energy to the head, picking it up into a little boom boom, a little transition or a position change, and then it's like we're vomiting and we fully vomit, and then from here, ba-da-da-da, so they're accenting from the chest on this, boom, boom, even though the bounce is up, that's what creates that sticky vibe about it. The turn, this part is so good. That is an external chest hit. Boom, boom, boom. That's sick. That is probably, that's my favorite part, is this right here. Gosh. Da-da-da. Da 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 da, and they go low, mid, high with the leg to help pulse the energy on that. They lift the arms up, they swing over, and then we go and create a nice little travel through, little snake with the hands. They switch, and then we dip over to the side. So there's a lot of hinges, a lot of swivels, a lot of those things that contribute and make the content itself so diverse, and that's why it doesn't, like, if they're in unison a lot, like, you can't tell because you're so focused on the content and the diversity of it. And that's, that's where you play with the balances of things. And their formations, they travel and they do micro transitions, which is really well done. I love the melts on that. Your features front, they pulse it up, and of course they have this little flick of the wrist. It's cool. Da 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 da, and then we go. Here we go. Boom, boom. It definitely is like the most aggressive party machine I've seen in my life. Yeah, so they go just a single, and then they bring it around, they karate chop their back, let's go. And they go high to low. So it's really, once again, they go super high, they hinge it so far, and then they swing into an angsty headbang, like we're in a mosh pit of sorrow. Good God. They do the same thing the second time, but this one's a little bit more chill when we're still popping it, like you did on this little hinge moment a little bit earlier. And then they drop down. I like my feature. He hits it. Boom. They drop to the knees. You take the arms. It's like they're whipping out their hands, which is what they are. Then they're bringing it over their head. Then you have your feature. They swing, swing, swing on tempo. They look, and then we step. And we step. Come on. Da 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 da. They're not like aggressively out of breath for what you would expect them to feel doing this choreo, which means they're getting trained and conditioned in the BB Trippin' ways of angst and full out. So I think, if I'm being honest, I think BB Trippin', they like choreographer for ATs. I think they also like just being able to do a whole no holds barred on xikers from the jump, because like, I really don't. When you look at ATs as choreo versus xikers is harder in the content and polyrhythmic expectation and the storytelling, and it could very simply be because of the amount of people there are. You have more heads in the room that are able to contribute. but also I think ATEEZ is older, and so they're in a different like path of still be going hard and growing in movement quality. They had a different upbringing in choreography though, so there's that going in too. But all in all, I'm saying I love the colors of each group respectively being under the same agency, and shout out to BB Trippin for making them both feel complementary but so different. Like that's really, really impressive, and I am such a fan of this. I'm a fan of this era of xikers right now. We need to stay on it forever. This is dope. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to watch. I've already had the privilege of looking at the performance version of this, and so you can take a look at that. I'll attach it on the end screen, and it's all on their xikers playlist, so that will also be on the end screen if you're wanting to just dive in on seeing what's released on YouTube. I do have a couple of releases that are not on YouTube yet that are on Patreon because they were a winner of a mini marathon that I did, and so I was able to take a look at some behind the scenes and some really fun stuff of their older works if you're interested. So you guys know me, I know you. I'm Jess, and I will catch you on the flip side. Bye.